And I guess, yeah, let's just continue to the trial. See what we're gonna do. I don't know what case we can build. As the old cowboy officer said, there's like a gold mine of evidence against her. How are we gonna, you know, turn that around? No idea. Let's see. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Rather, the whole thing is a one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Yeah, interesting she said like, don't believe in the client. Or something, you know? Mia always said to believe into the client, right? The opposite. Or is it? I don't know, she put it in quotations, so I don't know what she means by that. Well, good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. Uh-oh. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth. All by myself. I don't know if we can. Now let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. This is gonna be a disaster, isn't it? Courtroom number 9. Actually, I wonder, are we always in courtroom number 9? I mean, all the courtrooms look the same, so I don't know. It's all drawn the same. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in the courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not made though. I can't say words. The judgment to be made here is in our own hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand. The cough-up queen? The cough-up queen, I don't know. I feel that could be a euphemism. Anyway. Haven't I seen you before? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. He's being bribed with delicious food. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Oh, and you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's just rice and some seasoning? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how's it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. Isn't caviar, well, is it like fish eggs or something? I never ate caviar. I don't think so anyway. I've always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Nom, 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 nom. Hurry it up. Well, very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Mr. Angel Star was a special investigator of the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. Wow, oh, detective? Nani? Miss Star was a detective? Wow! Or, aha! I know who you are. Cough up. Cough up, Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well, you may continue your description, Miss Star. Just who is this lady? Apparently a detective before, until she, started her own business, I guess. Did she retire? I don't know. If I might have the court's attention over here. Okay, map time! The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with his knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Okay. Witness, do you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Star. Wait, are they talking about me? Okay, testimony time. Okay, actually I want to look at the floor plan some more, if possible. Okay. Telephone, the telephone apparently wasn't working at the time anyway. I don't know if it was working during the day of the murder. Security room, her supposed first boyfriend apparently, or at least the first we've heard. Car, Edgeworth's car, block A. Okay, and this block B's right here apparently. I don't know what this is. I guess, second floor maybe? The car comes through here, and the car comes through here as well, B. I assume Edgeworth comes through here. He came through here on 5:15 or 5:12? Yeah, 5:12. The murder took place at 5:15. Just getting a grasp of the situation here. Anyway, what's her testimony? Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Looks pretty angry. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. That's it? Bring a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there's no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? So thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. He always says that. You may cross-examine the witness. You may cross-examine the witness. You may cross-examine the witness. Right. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet the methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Oh, she got fired. Laid off? She was fired, yeah. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Deliver a lunchbox to your boyfriend? This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. Yeah, it's up on the second floor so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I'm parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. You sensed something, so you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like. How would you say it? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Well, speaking of detective's intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then it must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Or I must be right. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor next to the garish car. By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you're a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Rookie. Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be regulated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? Okay. The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunch boxes is rigged with a camera. Really? Interesting. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Sky. Okay, so she's an A block. He's small, opening a car trunk. I assume it's Edgeworth's car. We can't tell, it's black and white. Why is everything black and white? It's 2016, right? 2017 in this timeline? Or maybe they didn't invent color yet, I don't know. He has a jacket, there's bloodstains on it. Why is that? Gloves? So, what was the defendant doing at that time? Chief Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Well, tell me more about this knife the suspect was carrying. Well, I say the blade was about 4 inches long. Okay, 4 inches. What was the autopsy report? Caused by a 4.5-inch knife. Okay, I guess that makes sense then. It's not a contradiction. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed on the location of man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Okay. This case is long. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's a pretty long case. I think like all the cases from the first game combined basically is this length. For this case, the final case, the episode 5 case. Or whatever. It is pretty long. Alright, so then she thrusts the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Well, tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You didn't see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Miss Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit more, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. Holding a knife in her right hand, then she thrusts the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. I think I can... Let's see. Is this photo contradicting anything we know so far? I'm not sure. She's in block A, that makes sense, right? It's beyond the fence. One thing I noticed is that there's a barrel missing, but I don't know if that's relevant right now. I don't think that proves anything at the moment. There's a coat on. It's blood on her. I mean, we can only assume that was after the murder. I mean, that's assuming. We don't know when exactly this photo was taken, so we don't know. Wow, this is like... Wow, I'm already stuck. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm just pressing her again. That's what Phoenix said, right? Press her some more. But I think pressing her is what got us the photo in the first place, right? I'm thinking maybe that's what we need to use. Young cheese. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. Flawless. Flawless, flawless, flawless. No, I already pressed this one. I already pressed this point. Am I supposed to find a contradiction? Yeah, this case is already hard from the beginning. Press everything again. Played off. I mean, we pressed before, like, you had, like, maybe a grudge against, you know, prosecutors and being biased and everything, but then she showed a photograph. See everything from here. I mean, she her testimony is saying though she wasn't there though. She wasn't in the. She was in B block. It was B block when she was sensing. She saw. Okay, the only thing I do. The only thing I can think of is on this point. She's saying that chief prosecutor is holding a knife in her right hand, right? But the problem with that point is the fact this photo doesn't show that at all. It doesn't look like she has a knife, right? I mean, there's the assumption that she, you know, threw the knife away or something like that, but you know, the photo doesn't say when she was in this photo, right? There's no timestamp at the moment, unless we can check. Can we go like rotate it? No, there's no like 3D. You know, can we look at the back? See something? Okay, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna object this statement. The fact that she's holding a knife, there's no proof. There's this photo, but that just shows that she was there, not the fact that she had a knife. Right? Right? Maybe? Maybe? And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with a knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear to my finest salmon swirl lunch. Oh, what is that? It's like some sort of like sauce put around the rice. I'm sure that this is a fine lunch. You know, it's kind of interesting how I imagine the artist drew so many different kinds of lunches for hers to show off. That's pretty interesting. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? And why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Man, how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Got a better idea? What can we say? I mean, that's the only thing we can grab onto, right? We can't say anything else. We have to rely on the fact, we have to assume this was like before because we have to prove the opposite, right? Because if this is after the stabbing or supposed stabbing, then that would prove that Lana Sky is guilty. So we have to prove the opposite, that this was before the stabbing, or I don't know, not even like I don't know. How do we prove that the blood is actually ketchup? I don't know. Autopsy, lots of blood from chest wound. Single stab wound. Traces of the victim's blood. We have to prove something. I don't know how to prove it though. Let's see, well... I have to object, even though I don't know what I'm objecting to. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. I guess that's what she said, technically. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. But that's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. A good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. Was she? She looks pretty angry in this photo. I mean, not photo, but like this, I guess, imaginary image. She killed without pain or remorse. It was premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? For fashion? Maybe? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. Murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. Yeah, what if this is wine? I don't know. Could be anything, it's black and white. The phone. Let's see, well, let's press this first. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. Is the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. Nah. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Star. Oh, this is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. If you can prove this claim, the trial's already over. Gotta think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, you can make it, anything else. Murder was planned. 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 For one, why would the murder be planned and the fact that she has a lot of blood on her in the first place? Maybe not. Last call made her sister at 5:18 the day of the murder. I don't get it. Murder's planned, or rubber gloves prove it. Rubber gloves prove it. Murder's planned. How do we prove the opposite? We have to prove that the murder wasn't planned. That she didn't plan to kill anyone today, you know? She didn't wake up today and say, hey, I'm gonna kill someone. How do you prove that she didn't plan that? You know, or at the very least, if she did murder someone, you have to prove at least, you know, she didn't plan that. I guess we already like, examined this. Examined the knife itself. I mean, that's one weird thing. I mean, I have like a lot of theories, but I don't know if it's the one the game wants. Because for one, why is she using Edward's knife? If it was planned, she would just bring her own knife, not Edward's knife. That's weird. Unless she was planning on that too. So it's kind of like, well, I don't know. It's a memo. Again, phone. I mean, that's weird, right? The fact that she called after the murder. I don't know if that proves anything, though. Like, she called someone after the murder. That, like, we have to prove that it's before the murder that she didn't plan it, not after. Right? I think? I'm not sure. Work of art? I mean, that's not relevant. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the mascot did it. It was the blue badger. They're the murderer. I was at 512. Okay, I'm gonna test my theory. I might be wrong, I might be completely wrong, but I'm thinking, like, why would she be using this knife if it was planned? Because if I was planning a murder, I would bring my own knife, you know? Maybe? I don't know. The mind of a criminal. Yeah. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know? That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Ezra's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. Yep. What was it, Miss Kirsch? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor. There? Blah, 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 blah. The defender is the chief prosecutor of the district, right? Mommy, our prosecutor's bad people. Just random people. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Alana Sky planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Alright, yeah, okay, I was right. Wah! Order, order, order! Great, now the tide isn't turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Uh-oh. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. Nani? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant Lana Sky murdered the detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... What? Wearing what? Okay. I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? Yeah, my powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Okay. New testimony. Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Something is very fishy about that. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? You like to give Angel your sausage? I don't know, I think she'd be giving you a sausage instead. I know, considering she's a lunch lady. Anyway, so if I ordered pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Okay. I think there's a glaring hole in her testimony, but let's see. Let's press her a little bit more for more information. Oh, you said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Okay, try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Okay, try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why do you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Okay. Actions speak for themselves. You called the victim... You have no proof that Miss Sky called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? Well, there's no record of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana Sky's phone. She might have written him up a letter. Oh, come on, you could have tried public phone first at least. Interesting that she didn't say that. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? I'm sure the chief prosecutor was a grudge against the victim. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't, that's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels, don't you agree? Oh, I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Except there's only one stab wound. So you're lying. You're lying, lady! You're lying! You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. This is moss? I'm afraid the moss growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Uh-huh, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? Oh, just ketchup and rice? You got the crime scene set right. Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood on her breasts. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me? Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. Miss Sky was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard. Or a bib. What? A judge of a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There's only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Star isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance! Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. A short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, would it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay. Let's look at this photo again. Aha! She says she had a muffler, but look at this. Where's the muffler? I don't see a muffler. Stop lying! Miss Star, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. Okay, Edgar was just taking over. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Wow, Edgeworth he's harsh. Harsh words. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? I mean, yeah, Edgeworth. I mean, yeah, he's also like, what do you call it? Grilling the witness as well. Usually he didn't do that in the first games, but now he is. Interesting. But it was there a scarf? No, not that, but something red. Really? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime, you apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of our testimony. But the most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Okay? Yeah, the whole idea of like being like planned murder, like still isn't really relevant to the fact that apparently she stabbed someone. No. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made it to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You are quite determined about the scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, cobra is kind of a snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator this one, a leopard woman. Wow. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay. Anything wrong with this testimony? I'm not sure. So, where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. Okay. And that's right. There's a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? Quickly caught her. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? Yeah, like, that's weird. Look at the floor plans. Apparently she was here, murder was like over here, going over here. But how did she get past this fence? You know? That's weird. Well, I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. Lunchland car was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet on the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Star? Yes, that's right. But there's a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing, the cough-up queen lunch lady athlete indeed. I would have taken a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gone to my sister that fast. Yeah, the fence was about 9 feet high too. So, how did Miss Sky not get away? Okay, it's weird. But I don't know if it proves anything. I guess her explanation is the fact that she, you know, ran up the fence, apparently. I don't know. She mentioned a muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I've heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? You can't mean. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the scene of the crime? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory is like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the corp doesn't see, Miss Star. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. The wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Yeah, I'm assuming that's where Lana tried to use the phone initially, I guess. That's why she went behind the partition. Apparently, it was out of order, and so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should of course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Okay, update, the word muffler was overheard. Had to use her cell instead. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to look for other suspects. Usually in the Phoenix Wright game, in the cases, it tends to be that someone else is the murderer, or someone else is a killer, other than the defendant. I don't know. Is it Angel? I can only assume... Well, I don't know. Let's see. How'd she try to use the phone on the wall? Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Okay. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climb over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this. What is it, Mr. Wright? Saw her doing this. Now, let's see. Let's press her again, though. Let's see what we say about this. She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pâté à foie gras. I guess. I don't know how you pronounce that. Pâté? Foie gras? I don't know. Huh? She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There's an oil drum lying at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why did she run the other way? The other, Yeah, the parking lot entrance. That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent, more mysteries. I wish I could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it, you have to believe me. Okay, so I think what's wrong about this testimony is that apparently Lana... Okay, let's see. Apparently Lana went over here, tried the telephone, but she didn't it didn't work. so she took out her cell phone. And so Miss Star came running this way, saw her with the cell phone, and arrested her. Right? But the problem with that is that Lada was over here this whole time, and there was this partition here. So how did she see that she was using this telephone and also switched her cell phone in the first place, and like knew that she said something about a muffler? That's like, well, I mean, maybe she could have heard it, but I don't know. She couldn't seen it is the problem. This wall was blocking it, so I think that's what we need to prove. I think, hopefully. Let's go.